Suppose I'm an aspiring entrepreneur thinking about an investment firm like you. I'm not sure what are the pros and cons.
If it comes to Enlighted Mind, we would only invest in the businesses where the founder is ready to invest himself. The accounting, legal conditions, marketing, it should be done by us. 90% of the funding should go into upgrading the business.
What are the industries that you would never invest in?
I would not invest in F&B.
Okay.
I would not invest in a Limo service company.
Let's talk about the Shark Tanks. I'm planning to set up a Shark Tank. How do I go about it?
You need to understand why you want to do that. What is the expected outcome? Are you planning to make money or you just want to spend money?
Well, I want to make money, of course.
There are three main pillars. Learn, network, invest. Your time, your knowledge is an investment. This is something you can't compromise.
So what are the hottest businesses in Dubai to invest in?
There are two sectors which has the most inquiring online.
Dubai's tech industry stands at over $23 billion. What about technology and e-commerce? Good afternoon, Timour. Thank you
Good afternoon.
Thank you so much for joining me today. Let's start with a simple question. Thank you so much.
That of a founder.
Yeah, thank you. Suppose I'm an aspiring entrepreneur and I'm looking to set up a business and I have a little bit of funding available which could potentially last for a year.
In Dubai?
In Dubai, yeah.
Okay.
And I'm now thinking about whether to bootstrap or look for an investment firm like you.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what are the pros and cons here.
Yeah. I'll put it this way, if it's particular. So first of all, thank you very much for having me here.
Pleasure. Thank you. Thank you for joining me today.
Yeah. Going to your question. I'll put it this way. If it comes and particularly to Enlighted Minds, the company I own, we would only invest in the businesses where the founder is ready to invest himself, where the founder is ready to go through the hustles Dubai has to offer. Because I believe that here, especially in this very competitive market, an international hub where everyone wants to be, is a good place to test your ideas, is a good place to test your entrepreneurial spirit. Because I've seen different types of entrepreneurs, those who were great in what they do. They were growing within their corporate structure. But because of that sort of pressure from the community around that 9 to 5, you have to quit, you have to be, go out from the comfort zone. It doesn't mean that everyone have to be an entrepreneur or everyone tends to be an entrepreneur. There are great CEOs, I know. There are great COOs, there are great C-levels, management levels, people who shouldn't quit their jobs and then start the business. That's why answering to your question would be, of course, I would do what you did, maybe, bootstrap. I won't go around raising funds until I personally invest in my business, test it, how it works. I'll go through slow process because especially in Dubai, it's no longer impressive if you have a really huge office somewhere in Burj Khalifa because it depends on what you do. Does your business require and this amount of people at this stage? So it is a mistake because I've seen a lot of startups or business owners who comes and they say, okay, we are fundraising because this is what we have as an idea, but without them putting a single dirham at the beginning to test their own business idea, right? So I would use my own funding, skills. If you can't hire 10 people, don't hire at all. Try yourself.
Right. Yeah. So the risk here would be that, for example, I've jumped off a plane and I need to build my parachute on the way and open the parachute and land safely. Now I'm looking at the completion of 1 year. From here onwards, what if my funding, the funds that I have saved, do not last that long because I need to spend or I don't generate profits enough to actually enter the next year?
Yeah.
That would be a drawback, right?
Of course.
So how do I handle that risk?
So
thank you everyone for your great support and comments on each of the episodes. We've been working really, really hard to bring you great guests and content. And it's only going to get better from here onwards. Your support means a lot to us. do hit that subscribe button. Let's make it happen and make it count.
The risk will be there, whether you prepared or not prepared, whether you raise funds and take somebody else's capital. You will just be less cautious because it's not your money. Whatever, I mean, I've heard people saying no, but I'm very trustworthy and I know how to handle. But when it's not your money, Dubai has a tendency to open your desires. So
That's
you
right.
would definitely go into hiring the most expensive A players because you can afford it. It's not your money. You need that. Right. So your capital and plus somebody else's capital won't last for a year, right? So when you talk about risk, that's a risk every entrepreneur should take, or whether he plans, whether I believe that what is good as well in Dubai, especially in Dubai in particular, people are very open-minded. Like if I come to you today and I say, look, I'm thinking of setting up a business setup company, a business consultancy, a corporate service provider. You will tell me all the things you made mistakes and you will tell me how to focus. You will help me to make sure that my business setup company will succeed. And you won't feel that it's a competition. You want to open up, right? That's the nature of Dubai. If I want to open a salon, I would go to any salon and I will ask the owner, how did you open it? And she will tell me 1, 2, 3, how she went from struggle to set up. She will try to make sure that I don't repeat the same mistakes. This is not a competition here. And that's why the only way you can minimize the risk to last longer is to go connect. So in our company, in our networking events, we say there are 3 main pillars is learn, network, invest.
Beautiful.
Right? So
Beautiful.
you learn the subject, whatever you want to do, where you want to, then you network. Before investing, you go and connect with people who is already in this business, like yourself. And then you ask them questions, and then you invest. And investment, I say, whether it's money, your time, whatever, before you decide, so you learn, network, invest. So 3 main things to minimize the risk.
Beautiful. I think I can connect the dots here with myself. I mean, the way I analyze the success of any business is very simple. I look at the failure in this regard first.
Yeah.
I mean, when I look at our own business, we set up hundreds of businesses on a monthly basis, and we have databases, and some businesses fail as well. I mean, worldwide, the statistics are that 95% of the businesses fail in the first 5 years.
Yeah.
And there are many, many reasons behind that. For example, the first reason, in my view, is the lack of understanding of the entrepreneur's own vision and mission, lack of team building, lack of leadership skills, not being able to understand marketing, for example, not being able to sell, not being able to build systems for the business. The legal foundation could be poor, the product could be poor. There are many, many reasons. So learning is the key element here for myself. And the network, as you've rightly said, is absolutely the key, because through the network you will find out many more opportunities.
True.
That's right. And the last point was the investment part, right? So invest in what exactly? Invest in yourself, or?
We take the third pillar as investment because your time, your knowledge, other people's time, other people is an investment. So it's not always the actual fiat cash, right? So
that's right.
Everything is investment. So before you decide where you want to spend your time,
right?
Like I always say, when you start a business, how sometimes you have this an idea of building a unicorn, but then look at what experience you have.
Yeah.
Like you with the background of being a lawyer, right? So you know the concept of legal documentation. So you started business related to that, right?
Correct.
You didn't open a car wash.
Correct.
You didn't open a restaurant, even though people say, oh, Dubai restaurant, F&B, right? So I believe that's where people already, if you have invested so much time in graduating, law, practicing, that at least something around that corporate services, that's where you spend, right? Yeah. But I wanted to give a compliment back to Because when we firstly spoke on Zoom before this podcast, and then you invited me to the office, I expected an office of a corporate service providing company. But when I came, it looked like a free zone company. And I asked myself, like, is InZone, I actually Googled, is the InZone as like IVSA or a DSO? Is it like an actual government free zone? Because the full setup, it gives credibility 100%.
Absolutely.
And I would definitely within my network, because this is something we don't do on a larger scale, right? So we do have a concierge service company where clients approach, but I tend lately for the past 3 years tend to refer those things to professionals.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much for the compliment. So talking about the learning, I'd like to share a very funny example. Not exactly funny, but when I talk to many people around, almost everyone has an idea. They just want to start with the idea, but no one wants to educate themselves. I'll talk about my own son who's 15 years old.
Okay.
And he's been, of course, talking about lately about Donald Trump's meme coin.
Coins.
And all of his friends are investing. And he talked to me, Papa, I want to invest in the meme coin. I said, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Said, I own about 3,000 dirhams, actually. And he said, Papa, can you just put that money in the coin? I said, okay, I can do that. But do you really know anything about meme coin? He said, no, my friends are investing. It goes up and down, and I will sell it when it is up. I said, why don't you educate yourself on the coin itself,
of course,
before you put in your money? Because what happens, this is a classic example of many people who actually end up
nowadays
investing in many products without actually understanding what the product is. So this is where the key is. I think education is the most important asset for any entrepreneur in my view.
True, and I don't agree that because education, especially in the modern world, right? So which requires you to spend time and study. I'm not talking about school, university, which is also important. And it depends what you want to take from it.
Correct.
So you want to take. So when it came to my kids, my wife is saying, why do we spend money on schooling? Look at the programs today, so it's better we can find tutors and this. I said, so it's not about what he learns math or he learns it's about the environment. He needs to be able to connect to other people. That's what you learn at schools. I mean, I'm not really cared about the grades, right? Which is important because if it makes him grow and develop and get pluses, not minuses, is one thing. But I would never scold him for lower grades. But education is very important. Constant reading, understanding, and you gave a right advice to your son. If he's asking you to invest, means he didn't even bother. To understand how to invest. How to create wallets. The basics. And it's not only your son. Your son is 15 and he's thinking about investment, which is also good. Means he's surrounded by right environment. People are investing, buying. It's just that, it's you put the money, it grows, you sell. It doesn't work like this. But funny to say that there are a lot of grown-ups.
Well, I made a mistake recently as well.
That's the same thing. When I got into blockchain in 2017, we went through the same process. We were thinking that we are missing something. Why this is happening and we are not involved. So, but we went the other way around. We decided that, okay, why don't we gather a community around us? So we do an event, crypto investors dinner. Sounds cool. Has investors on board. So we had projects pitching to us saying, oh, can we present our project? Because we were saying that we'll bring traditional investors who want to invest in crypto projects and crypto project who is looking for funds. So that's how we created the community. But we made it with mistakes. It made me maybe 2-3 years before I went into blockchain to understand. The simplest way is just to learn to read Satoshi Nakamoto's Bitcoin's white paper. It's very thin. It's like 10 pages. But at least it gives a basic understanding.
Absolutely. So I want to invest in meme coin. I have no idea what it is.
Yeah,
Tell
no
me
one
how
has.
to go about it.
To be honest, that nobody actually can predict a growth or the fall of a meme coins. That's why they called meme coins. That's why it's not a financial advice. And yes, but you look at the trends. So yes, obviously everyone expected. Look, the growth of today's market, whether it's meme coin or Bitcoin or Ethereum or any other coins, yes, the huge impact was Trump's election. Him entering the office, he being pro crypto. Of course, it was expected that it will grow. The meme coins are it's a lot of marketing. It's huge risk, first of all. So if I were you and you wanted to invest in meme coins, I wouldn't advise any specific meme coin, but I would advise, again, as we spoke about learning, right? So you have to be subscribed to every Twitter account, every Discord chats, because you have to be constantly there to understand what is really highly promoted, where majority of influencers are buying. You can check it's on blockchain, right? So you can see what wallets are there, what these wallets hold already. So it's a deep study to understand, okay, then this is something now gonna pump.
Right. So without education, I shouldn't even think about it. I
never.
think it's a huge mistake a lot of people are making. They are listening to other people
Of
who are
course,
investing and they're
if you
blindly
ask-
investing.
When you ask this person why he thinks, he will say that somebody said.
Yeah.
And then you ask that person, he will say somebody said.
Somebody
So
said,
no
yeah.
one is actually going to give a right answer why he thinks this one is going to pump.
It's just like real estate example. When I came to the UAE in 2007, everyone was talking about real estate. Every single person I used to meet would talk about real estate. They would talk about the people that they know that they've made money. And suddenly in 2008, when there was
the
a crash, a lot of people lost a lot of money because they were playing with 5%, 10% of money. And they had no idea why they were investing in real estate to start with. When real estate is a science in itself.
Oh,
right?
100%.
I mean, you need to understand the real estate, real game.
You need to know the areas, like, of
absolutely.
course, like, and you need to know the master plan of Dubai.
Correct.
So how Dubai is planning to develop, what are they planning to build, the metro station, the malls, etc. So it's a lot of things behind.
Correct. Maz was asking me a question the other day, which area I would be investing in. I told him there are three things that I think are really important: location, location, and location. But on top of that, education. That is very important for me. I need to educate why I am investing. And the best time to invest in real estate is when the market is going down.
Not
you're
when
a real
it's on
investor.
the peak. If it's on the peak, you're just running behind
and
everyone.
there shouldn't be any emotion attached to this investment.
True.
If you have emotions attached to real estate investment, you're going wrong to start with.
Because they can present you a project really touching your emotions. We have this eco-friendly, this, that, but is it in the right area?
Correct. So tell me about Bitcoin. Who is the founder of Bitcoin? And where is it headed?
Well, again, the whole crypto and blockchain is a huge science, right? The whole blockchain and Bitcoin as a part of, as just a currency, right, of the blockchain. Blockchain was created to remove the third party. Because if today I want to buy this cup of coffee from you, I take money from the bank, I give you give me a cup of coffee. You take my money, you put it in the bank. So there is a third party, whether it's accountant, the bank. So blockchain was created to peer-to-peer. So if I buy from you, I give you, that's it. And it's all transparent. Everyone knows that this transaction happened. The miners, right? And the algorithm, the science. So now we live in the world where this either has to or is planning to be legalized. So it means when people say, I got a license to do this blockchain project, now it's a completely different, right? So now whatever was planned as blockchain science now being regulated. So there is still a regulator, right? So that's why it's very controversial, and depends in which country what you do, because here there are certain activities which are legal. That's why there are licenses which are available, and there are certain activities which people still do and have huge mistake by thinking that it's legal, or they don't even study. They get a proprietary trading license, crypto trading license, and they open an exchange office, which only proprietary trading allows you to trade with your own funds.
Right. It's not trading with others' funds.
And without this license, you can still trade with your own funds. What you cannot do, you can...
Very, very intelligent. Yes.
So majority of licenses which are available today in UAE, they basically allow you to do something you do anyway. Yeah. They allow you to hold a ledger. You can hold a ledger without having a license. But people fall and they think, okay, so I got a crypto license, and they do mistakes. And it's a red flag here. So I would wait until it's regulated, until it's legal, before actually getting... But regardless of that, there are forums and conferences happening, and it's something you can't say, no, it doesn't exist. I don't believe in crypto. That's a mistake.
Suppose if I decide that, I want the funding, somehow I think my startup is cost heavy because I need to build something which requires cost, and I come to you.
Yeah.
What would you actually look in me and the business to decide that you are actually ready to invest?
Okay. There are several criteria, but very short, because sometimes when we see and we are invited to startup shows and investor dinners, startups forget a lot of things. That here, attention is important. To keep the attention of the person, the audience, is a very short term. Everyone is like on the phone nowadays, especially. Everyone is busy with something. So you can't like start your pre-history that how you decided you were a poor guy. Nobody cares. So what they want to see, the founder, yes, obviously he should be with charisma. The team, what is the team? Who is going to execute? Yeah, you might have a great idea. You can be a great entrepreneur. What have you achieved before? So past experience. Have you done anything in that field? So you are a lawyer, and now you're proposing me to open a restaurant because you believe somebody said, or you saw that. Because a short side story. There is a private club I know, and I'm on board of that club. And when the management changed, they hired a new CEO who suddenly decided that because the area is full of different Europeans and this, and he likes pork, he said, and it's in Dubai, he said, we should open a restaurant which serves pork only. And we will make a lot of money with deliveries because this area is full of Europeans. They all like to order pork. And I was like, when I just heard, the restaurant was open, they invested in the restaurant. And of course, it was always empty. He's the only one who was eating there because the culture, right? Because even if you eat pork, you would eat it somewhere back at home in your villa when you do barbecue, but you will never go to a restaurant where you see people different, wearing kandura, different culture. You will not order even.
Culture is halal. Yeah. So you'd expect to eat halal food.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but that's why it's important that you propose something you have experience in, then there is a team to execute. The financials should be clear in the sense that if your business is not making money now, so you can't evaluate your company at millions because you're pitching in Dubai and you think that because it's Dubai, I can do, my valuation is 100 million and I'm raising $10 million. So it should be based on actual things, right? So if, yes, there is like an opportunity cost, right? So if there is something unique you have developed or are planning to develop, or you know how to develop unique things, a solution. The other thing is where people make mistakes, and what we look at if that problem exists in this market. Because sometimes people come with the solution for the problem which doesn't exist yet, or it was there and it's already fixed by government, right? So this is what we look at: the team, the finance, the founder himself. because there are so many risks about the founder. If the business is not scalable nowadays, if the founder is the business maker, so his idea is himself. His idea is like a doctor. I'm an amazing doctor with the big name. Clients will come because of me.
It's
That's
all dependent on him now. Yeah, scalability is a key component I see, right?
Yeah.
So suppose I meet your criteria.
Yes.
What is the sort of commercial or what are the commercials that you'd probably put in place? What is the percentage that you might be interested in terms of the equity?
So I'll talk about Enlighted Minds in general, right? So we only, we take minimum of 30% shares and above, depends on what else we're going to give. But there are certain things we would definitely request that it should be done by us. The accounting, first of all, should be done by us.
Very important.
Of course, we need to know how the monies are spent.
Cash flow.
Yeah, cash flow. So the legal conditions, there should be our law firm who drafts all the contracts and the partnership agreements, etc. Marketing should be done by us. Even though you have a great team, it can blend within our marketing agency because this is the same conditions we offered to the marketing agency we own. We told them that every company we bring on board will become your clients because that's how they grow.
Correct.
Why would we outsource anything if we have a marketing team inside? They can outsource. It's up to them to decide how much of the services they want to outsource. Legal firm. We own a law firm. We want all the legal services done by our law firm. So then the funding, right? Sometimes the founder doesn't understand. He needs $1 million. He doesn't know how to spend it, where to spend it. And if the founder is just planning to upgrade his lifestyle, that's not the sort of business he's going to say.
It's a red flag to start with.
Yeah, of course. I need a bigger office. Oh, because I live too far, I need an apartment close to my office work because then there are so many things to compromise on. I understand. But if the 90% of the funding should go into upgrading the business,
right?
So rather than the lifestyle of the founder.
Of course, what if I need salary as a founder?
Yeah. Then that's discussable. Yes, of course. So when the founder is open to fundraising, he understands that. And then we ask questions because sometimes there are 3 partners. And it happened to be that 2 partners do nothing. Because when you start asking, okay, so who is responsible for this? Who is responsible for this? 3 of them are responsible for the same thing. So why you have built the structure this way? So we come there with a board of directors. We come there with a scalable plan. We come there with market understanding. We come there with go-to market research. So we come with 80% of our investment is our skills, services, and then only 20% may be funding. Sometimes you are opening a second branch. You need a bigger office, or you're opening a... This is something you can't compromise in the sense that this is something you can't give in services. You actually need to invest in the property.
Right.
But we might have property available.
And what would be your expectation in terms of recouping your investment or profits in the coming years or potential exit at some point?
So for us, Enlighted Minds is the legacy we are building. So for me, if you ask me 5 years ago, what would be my success? I wanted to have my logo everywhere. I wanted that recognition. Oh, this is Timour's company. Back in the years. Now, for me, success where somebody recommends me a business I own and says, listen, you should try this clinic or you should try this law firm. And I look at the business card and I know that I have shares in that business. But nobody knows that it's mine. That's where we look at.
That's a good approach.
Yeah.
So what are the hottest businesses in Dubai to invest in?
Healthcare, education, everything where it goes to minimizing the operation cost, where you can do with one person, can do multiple of things. So nurseries, as I said before, you definitely know that there are 22 kids in a class with one teacher.
Yeah.
So you have 22 potential incomes, and you always know in advance how much money you are coming.
That's right. Yeah.
Healthcare. Nowadays, especially with longevity, anti-age, those sectors are important because people now is at the age, we take our clients at the age where they want to live longer, healthier, and healthy lifestyle is expensive.
Yeah.
Gym, good food, constant tests, you do IV therapy. So those businesses where we look at. And plus it fits the vision of the country.
That's right.
So by 2030, I mean, they planning to expand the education. His Highness Sheikh Mohammed said that he wants to have the best education, best healthcare in the country for his people and expats. So that's where the country is investing to.
Yeah, Dubai's tech industry stands at over $23 billion at the moment. What about technology and e-commerce?
Oh, 100%. With the development of AI, but we just heard the news, right, about the DeepSeek, how huge companies like NVIDIA and OpenAI, their stocks went down. So this was happening with blockchain and crypto back in back before. People were promoting, creating a hype around it. Same like AI now. That's why technology, like I think by 2030, Dubai announced that they want to have 30 unicorns privately grown from UAE.
Homegrown?
Yeah, homegrown. Homegrown. Yeah, so technology, but again, is the businesses to have, for sure. This is businesses to invest, yes. Tech, fintech, prop tech, because I believe that the company cannot grow if they avoid technology, whether it's automation of the processes or like your legal online, right? So automated. You download details, you enter details, you download contract. Wow, I told you right away. This is the business to invest, 100%, because this is something cash generated. This type of businesses are important. And we did the research 8 years ago. There are two sectors which has the most inquiring online. Is the healthcare and legal. People normally check on Google and Yandex, they check the legal problems online or healthcare. They check online.
I better pay attention to our law firm, actually.
I told you. No, it is indeed. There are two main questionnaires when people check. I have this case, or this is the problem. What is because especially here in UAE, so the law itself, so the country was founded, it's quite young, right?
Of course.
So it's still development. So the laws are changing. It was a colony at one point, and now is an independent, huge international hub. So people from all over the world are coming here, bringing their traditions, bringing their laws. So you need to understand the like free zones, mainland, DIFC, all that. So law is I think today the questions about law and legality is the number one, and then healthcare.
Yeah, of course, I think we stand at a huge advantage in this regard. I mean, we have a law firm and we are corporate services as well at the same time. So one of the reasons that many businesses actually fail around the world and here as well is because of the weakness in the legal foundation. So we protect that well.
Contracts, partnership agreements.
Exactly. So we can secure all grounds, the right place to incorporate, and all the contracts, all the legal risks, trademarks, IP, what have you, are taken care of in-house.
And at least you guys can, because yes, majority of corporate service providers, their job to open as much companies as they can. But from what I understand, from my point of view, where InZone comes in, where you first understand if this is the structure client need.
Correct.
Because open license today...
it's not about churning the numbers. It's about providing the right advice that we believe in.
Whether you need this free zone, whether you need mainland, whether you need, that's where the law firm comes.
Correct. That's a very, very unique combination that we have. Now, Dubai has attracted, in terms of the venture capital, I think vast majority of the funding in the region comes to this city when it comes to venture capital. I mean, you've identified the right industries, the healthcare, education, e-commerce,
technology,
IT. They are highly in demand. What are the industries that you would never invest in?
Oh, well, again, it comes to us, right? So I do believe that, of course, the city requires to host a lot of people. Yeah, so hospitality. I would not invest in F&B. It's like restaurants.
Yeah.
Because not because of competition. It's just that it should be your business number 3 or 4 when you have somewhere else money generating. Because I had a nightclub. So I'm talking about a personal experience. So I had a nightclub at the JBR at the JA Ocean View. It lasted, that's one of the failures I have. So I bought it from a friend in November and I lost it in February. So
That was a quick turnaround.
you can lose the business. So yeah, I would not personally, and as the company, we would not invest because we have a strict policy. We only invest in companies which can benefit other companies, right? So if other companies do not require a restaurant, it's not like we constantly go and eat in the restaurant. So F&B wouldn't be a place to invest. I would not.
What else?
Car businesses. I had a limo company.
Okay.
I would not invest in a limo service company, even though because it's you would only feel making money when you have 500 cars and 1,000 drivers, because the car should work 24/7. I had 50 cars, 50 drivers, and I thought that I can sustain. But if the car works only 12 hours because the other 12 hours car is in the garage and the driver is sleeping, he needs to take rest, can't work more than 12 hours. So you don't feel anything, you don't make any money. So you only start feeling that you're making money when it's like 500 fleet cars.
That's a high volume, very high volume.
And then it means you need to keep 1,000 people. Sick leaves.
Huge costs.
We spoke about hiring people in Dubai, right?
Huge costs.
Visas. So huge investment.
What else?
I would not invest. I'm going through businesses I had and I failed.
So F&B,
Limo
business.
like
What about car rental?
Car rental as well. Like the thing is that majority of car rentals and friends I know when it comes to car rental, so the insurance, the car staying in the garage, fixing, unless it's the whole ecosystem where you have your own garage to fix cars, change oil, where you have your own parking space, so ATC. So if it's a whole ecosystem, I would consider. I have a friend who owns a huge ecosystem of cars. Like it started it started as a tech company. They just took like a booking.com thing. So they were offering the services to luxury car rentals, generating leads for them, getting the referrals. And when they saw the market and when they saw the numbers, they showed it to the investors and they opened their own luxury cars. So the whole ecosystem.
Makes sense. Talking about Dubai, now there are many financing options that we can explore. Of course, we've talked about the bootstrapping. We've talked about potentially you investing in this idea.
Yeah.
What are the other options available? I guess angel investors and incubators.
Yeah, incubators. So you can go and approach investors, clubs, and I would definitely recommend, like if you are an entrepreneur, just moved to Dubai, you have a little bit of funds saved and you're thinking of starting a business, join the community of business leaders, owners, go to places like Capital Club, like to connect to other people's, because it will cost you less than a mistake you're going to take. Like you open license, you get an office, you put the team inside, and then you think, okay, so money won't come just like this. So build your network around and just walk around.
Network is very important.
So private equity investors, angel investors, venture capital, accelerators would help you just to have the network, like-minded people. So
what about bank loans?
Well, here, especially if you just moved here, so you still a high risk to banks here. So it's not like you go to any bank and you say, okay, I have this great idea, invest in me. So you need to have cash flow. You need to show the proper banking reports, KYCs, where the money. So a lot of things before you come to bank and say, okay, now I have a business which is profitable and I need a bank loan. So banks, in a sense, they do fund businesses, but not newly funded.
That's right. I mean, they look at mature businesses where they have some security over
and there should
loans.
be some security, whether it's business or maybe it's contracts, maybe it's invoices.
And they don't typically take equity and it's kind of a loan that you
Yeah.
take, and
Yeah.
it has to be backed by a security.
Yeah.
Of course, banks generally are very conservative in the UAE, and
Of course.
I think the vast majority of the entrepreneurs would look at venture capital, private equity, maybe at a later stage, but maybe incubators and angel investors. That
Yeah.
those are very, very practical options. Especially, I was just doing some research before our conversation. There are about 111 incubators and accelerators in Dubai alone.
Didn't know.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's a huge number. I mean, that's
I'll put
something
it
very
this way.
encouraging as well.
The startup culture. Why people go to Silicon Valley? Because it's a culture of startups. You made an exit, then you become a venture investor.
Yeah.
So then you invest in other startups. You help other startups to grow. So here it's just developing.
Yeah.
As we say, it's a young country. Of course, the vision of His Highness and the whole country is there to grow.
Absolutely, it's going to grow.
It is
further,
positive. Like say, people who exited businesses like Souk.com and now other tech platforms. Of course, now they became venture capital, so they are the one investing, right? So the culture is just coming. That's why for startups it's a bit difficult. It's not like Silicon Valley, but soon. Yeah.
So we've talked about various types of potential avenues for seeking investment. I just wanted to differentiate the levels that an entrepreneur could be at in terms of setting up the business, growing it, and then entering the maturity stage. The first stage is always this seed stage, when the idea is just born and you're looking at working on the idea and you haven't reached that stage of
MVP.
setting up MVP. Yes.
Yeah.
So what kind of funding that is available in Dubai?
Realistically, if it's a seed, so you should look somewhere between $50,000 to $100,000.
Right.
Right. So don't think that now you're raising $1 million, even if your idea is great.
Right.
Still need to test it. If there is no MVP, I would put it this way. There was a time where you can raise funds for an idea. Today, people want to see an MVP because can you actually deliver? So build an MVP, then you go for fundraise. Don't put the presentation and you say that, okay,
it's just an idea. Yeah. I need to work on the idea.
Yeah. Go at least get a license. So sometimes people say, okay, have you invested at least like 10 to 20,000 dirham in your own idea? No, I didn't. I need, and when you fundraising, if you are a startup, as an advice, don't put in your numbers a license, something like which should have been your own investment at least.
That's right. So what you're essentially saying is that in Dubai, it's going to be hard to find seed capital.
Yeah. Unless it's something really unique. And as I said, don't forget that UAE in general is not a huge market.
Yeah.
Right. So when you multiply numbers, you multiply into amount of people who lives here. So, and then you cut the 50% of these people who is not going to use your technology or your solution.
Yeah.
So that's why the market becomes small.
Yeah. Understood. So I would have invested in the seed stage and would have brought up the idea to MVP, and now I am at a startup stage, which we've discussed. There are various options available. I could bootstrap if I have some funding. There are risks that will remain existent always throughout. It depends how you want to take it forward. You could potentially seek venture capital. You could go to an angel investor or incubator at this stage. So that's very clear. Now, let's talk about the growth companies. When a company has grown and established itself as a firm player within the market, it has steady revenue over the years. Let's say a company like us. We've been around for 10 years. We have more than 100 people. We're fast growing. We're doubling down on the number of people this year, for example. What kind of capital we could potentially look at?
Well, somewhere between $5 to $10 million. And again, it depends to what is your aim. just to multiply amount of offices or amount of people, or you are planning to open Saudi because Saudi is a huge market now.
Yeah.
Are you trying to cover the whole Middle East region? That's why you seeking for funding, or you setting up a new venture under your company, and then it will generate additional income, or because now let's say you do 100 companies per month,
Yeah.
right? So you get that database. So you understand what nationalities, what businesses they set up, where they fail. It's a huge data analysis. So if you start fundraising for data centers or to invest in AI development to analyze and make things easier and propose it to the government, that's why you need funding, all those things. Yeah, it depends. The sky is the limit, right? So where you want to go. So you're proposing to the government saying, look, we did an analysis in past 10 years. Imagine in 10 years how much database you have. Even if it's in Excel sheets before, and then you put it in CRM and this and this. So now you go to the government, you say, now I understand where is the mistake. I know why 9 out of 10 startups open companies and then they close. It's bad reputation for the government because those licenses are hanging in the system and people say, don't open business in Dubai. It's difficult. You get a free zone. You don't get bank account, or, it's very costly. They say there is no taxation, but the license itself, it costly. So all that can be converted into education. So before you set up a business, go through a small vetting process of understanding how to run this business. Like they did with RERA, right? So now you can't just register a real estate agency, which you could before. You need to pass an exam, right?
Of course.
Whoever proposed it had the same idea that, let's register. You can be an agent without RERA. If you want to have a RERA registration, pass the exam. So the same things can be converted using your database. And we are working on this so we can do it later together.
Very, very interesting. I'll keep those points, of course. Now we've entered the maturity stage.
Yes.
What options do I have?
For exit or for fundraising?
Fundraising.
So
and exit as well, potentially.
So then, exactly. So you're fundraising now for an exit. So you want to go IPO. You want to sell your shares. In order to sell that, you fundraise. You're forming... So you now can raise somewhere between... you can raise up to $100 million. I'll tell you why. Because then you can raise for a fund. Because now with the corporate service providing, with the legal services, with let's say now 5 floors of agents, so you just need to multiply. You can't multiply until forever, right? So unless maybe, as I said, maybe you are turning into a free zone. Maybe you found out that to become a free zone, you need a capital of $10 million and you need this much volume of companies you need to invest in marketing. So you fundraise. But why I say about fund structure? Because now you have all those services and now you tell the investors to join a fund because you will have a first access to successful businesses. So you keep the track of businesses you established. You see how they renew. When they renew, you help them with corporate service, you help them with accounting maybe, so you know the numbers. So you have a deal flow now of businesses who is looking for funding and people who wants to invest. So you do your own fund to invest in those successful businesses yourself as an idea.
Great.
Yeah.
Now I've crossed that stage. I've sold my stake.
Yeah. Become a venture capital.
Venture capital. Now I want to enter your firm and expect some profits.
Of course. Then you become an investor in somewhere. What we do, we invest in businesses we can control. We invest in businesses which are already profitable. We invest and enter in the businesses which can coexist together by sharing the same clientele. Clinics, clients are clients of a concierge service company. Concierge service companies are clients of a real estate agency, and so on and so on and so on. So building your own ecosystem, that's our stage. This is where we look at it.
Right. At this stage, I'm really concerned that every business that I enter in might not turn out to be profitable.
Exactly.
I'll be at a risk of loss as well.
Exactly.
I might end up investing in a company that goes under, for example.
Yeah. So at that stage, So I would still promote my company. The only reason why, not because we are so great, but because we are very diversified. So we don't depend on a single business. Let's say we don't depend on car businesses. So you need to worry every day if the car business is good or bad, or real estate. So it's a diversity of different. It's a combination of education, healthcare. We always look into different trends. We always expand into different regions. That's where it can be us or anybody else who actually invests in different, because it's a private equity. It makes money today. So great to be part of next Facebook, for sure. But you need, in Dubai especially, you need something which makes money today, covers your costs today. Right?
That's right. What is the typical exit plan that you have? How many years you plan to, exit?
Normally 4+1, like 5 years.
Right.
So for investors as well, is like very comfortable 4+1. So after 4 years, they have a 1 year to extend, or they can keep you their investment within the business. But we haven't seen yet the businesses where we would like to stay more than 10 years. I mean, depends where, but 4+1, 5 years.
What do you expect out of the investment?
Anywhere between, what we guarantee to our investors, anywhere between 20 to 40%. So ourselves, we are making somewhere about like 50 to 60%.
Right. That's an interesting number.
Yeah.
And of course, for the entrepreneur or the company, you provide a lot of education support and
this is the main thing. So we
yeah.
have sort of an entrepreneurs, like founders club sort of thing, know. So we support them with access to our board of advisors. We help them mingle within our network. We help them to get new trends. So constant education, especially, and growing the personal brand, like what you do today. Inviting me to podcast, doing your own podcast, because personal brand is important. That's what we give the founders.
Yeah. You think founders of today are so keen to build their personal brand, or they're making a mistake just staying behind?
Exactly. So they're not keen, but they should have, because we discussed this before. So look at the $1 trillion companies today, right? Elon Musk, personal brand. Not everyone is Elon Musk, but I'm just saying they're building their personal brand, and they shouldn't stay behind. People buy from people.
Right. That's absolutely agreed. I mean, personal brand is the key component going forward for any entrepreneur, I guess. I mean, even, look at the brands, biggest companies around the world. You've given the right example. It's the entrepreneurs or the founders who are actually building those brands themselves, personal brands, and then the companies.
Yeah, Binance, Nvidia, long before. Look, it's just appearing now. The Nvidia guy, the founder, the owner of Nvidia, just started appearing today, like going on the stage, attending the conferences.
Yeah.
Before that, it wasn't like that.
Makes a lot of sense. So let's talk about the Shark Tanks.
Okay.
I'm planning to set up a Shark Tank.
Okay.
In the coming months, actually.
Yeah.
How do I go about it?
Well, first, you need to understand why you want to do that. I mean, what is the expected outcome? I mean, are you planning to make money, or you just want to spend money?
Well, I want to make money, of course. Okay. There's no way that I'm spending money not to
who's
make
gonna
money.
Pay? Well, then the financial structure. Are the investors paying to attend the Shark Tank? Or the startups paying to present their startups to the sharks?
I'm open to both options at the moment. I'm exploring. I'm trying to educate myself. How should I go about it, basically?
Yeah, so different scenarios, right? So to bring quality investors and make them pay to attend, you need to have a really quality of startups, unicorns, and they need to know that the startups you're going to bring are actually at the stage where like you have to grab it. Because why would I pay? Or it should be huge marketing behind, or big sponsors, so the shark wants to be like, you at least get 2 sharks, big guys, and then the rest will pay because they want to be in the same panel with them, right?
Yeah.
And to make startups pay, when there should be something more than just presenting into sharks, right? So there should be a proper marketing. So they're paying for a proper presentation. So you will help them to do market analysis, like a vetting process before they pay. So this is the option. Plus, if it's shown on TV, that's another
that's
market.
a big plus, of course.
Yeah, of course. But then to get to TV, You need to understand why you.
Of course, you need the names, of course. I guess in terms of the investment and the recoup of the investment, I guess there are various options. I mean, you could get the equity, you can get convertible loan, or you could probably look at the royalty part as well.
Yeah.
But to me, I mean, in some situations, I've seen that Shark Tanks, of course, become overly aggressive in terms of recouping their investment. I guess that would be the right approach in terms of securing their interest, right?
Yeah. Of course. Setting up something like Shark Tank, again, first there should be something new you're bringing to the market, a concept, because it's all over the Shark Tank Britain, Shark Tank US, so those people have already built their brands, right? So they are publicly recognizable people when they attend the show. So that's why startups going there. That's why then the show can own equities of success fee, So different models. That's why if you opening a fundraising process to establish a Shark Tank show, so there should be sponsors, right? So there should be like, okay, we will be featured on NBC, or is the first Dubai Shark Tank, so it will come like Bling Dubai, like Netflix.
Yeah.
So something you need to have already in the bowl before you go and fundraise.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So ultimately, why should I do it? Is it for the branding, or should I just become a venture capitalist?
Like for me, again, yes, the question, why should you do that? What benefit? Because it's Dubai, right? It's easy to spend money, more harder to make money. So if you're talking about Shark Tank show, so yes, again, why are you doing that? Are you expecting tons of startups and then you will find the unicorn and you will have success fee? Well, if tomorrow you announce that in zone investing in startups, we are opening the doors, submit your application, you will have more startups that you can afford to vet, right?
Yeah.
So then there is no problem with having startups. The moment you say we invest in startups, lineup of businesses out there, right?
That's right, yeah.
Then you don't need Shark Tank show for that. If you want to mingle with investors and those who invest in venture capital, there are other ways, less costly, to do that. Yeah, by entering different clubs, being part of the community, building your personal brand, approaching investors and other entrepreneurs, just inviting them to podcasts. So less costly, more impact. So that's why the question mark is, why else you want to do the Shark Tank? What you want to achieve?
Ultimate objective. The vision is very important here.
Yep.
No, I think that's great advice. Thank you so much, Timour, for being with me today. It's been hugely insightful talking to you about the investments. I'll be in touch with you when I need the investment.
For sure. Thank you very much for the invitation. And as I said, it's an amazing setup.
Pleasure.
And a lot to learn.
Pleasure.
Right?
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Timour Kat, and I'm a serial entrepreneur and the co-founder and a main guy behind Enlighted Minds Investments, which is a company based here in Dubai. It was an amazing experience. First of all, as I sitting very comfortably in the office, I was fed, so I had lunch before the podcast, and very welcoming atmosphere and very welcoming host. And I believe there is more to come, and hope to be invited again.